A footage of Carmi and Claire from the joyful times together opens The Bear Season 3 Episode 7. We now get glimpses of him and Richie at the eatery, each brooding about their own concerns. Sydney hasn't signed the partnership yet, but she has moved into her new flat. Adam Shapiro texts her now, saying he has to chat to her about something. Another man in Carmi's therapy group shares how his relative sobbed and felt that he should be glad now that she had made amends, but he is still burdened by all of her horrible past behavior. The group counselor advises speaking aloud rather than letting words fester within oneself. Uncle Gary of the Fact stops by the restaurant to give them a new tube light. Sydney talks with Shapiro, who is actually relieved that Terry closed her establishment because he would now be opening a new location. Additionally, he is trying to fill a CDC post, and Sydney is being considered. His offer is for a partnership as well, but he needs to know right away since he wants to get started right away. Sydney replies she will give it some thought. As Marcus searches through Carmi's notebook, he comes across an image of several renowned chefs. Carmi claims that they spoke extensively about legacy and how one person's creations are appropriated by others and transformed into new things. Sydney enters and contributes to the discussion. Carmi acknowledges that he would want to weed out all the negative things if he had to leave a legacy. Marcus states that he aspires to be a superb emergency contact who also learnt and listened. Chris and Chucky, who had previously worked with Michael, begin working at the meat window next to Ebra. As soon as they assist Ebra in streamlining the procedure, the beef window operates more quickly and effectively. Ted Fack converses with Gary in another scene and inquires about his baseball playing days. He talks about how he was persuaded to use medications in order to gain weight, but that was the end of it when he was discovered. It comes out that Ted used to wager on the game. Natalie is upset that 2 of the scheduled guests have canceled. She is seated next to Richie, who remarks on the complete mess that still exists during service hours. They discuss her soon-to-be child, and Richie relates how Tiffy's water broke just as they were leaving for supper. He and Michael had taken a road trip just the day before. Sydney is taking her displeasure out on the boxes in the dumpster in the meanwhile. Tina offers Ebra a clipboard inside the kitchen so she can help with all the paperwork. She then gives Nat some more advice regarding giving birth before informing her that the restaurant is running low on seafolds. Nat chooses to go acquire some. Sydney, who was listening to her father's voicemail concerning a problem with his radiator, is approached by her as she is leaving, and she is instructed to sign the contract. Before the service, Richie tries to give his crew an inspirational speech, but he fumbles it and Sydney has to take over. When Sydney walks in, he finds Carmi working on the menu for the following day. Unaware of her input, he ignores it all. At the end of The Bear Season 3 Episode 7, Nat is loading boxes from the store into the trunk of her car when she suddenly begins to experience labor pains. The review of the episode. The entire crew is back at work at the restaurant in The Bear Season 3 Episode 7, although things are still moving a little slowly. Furthermore, this episode lacks the clear writing and precise organization of some of the best episodes of the show. The same problem occurred in Episode 5 as well, so hopefully this isn't a season-long issue. While the attention shown to supporting characters such as Gary is commendable, certain situations, such as those involving the facts, may not have been totally necessary. The narrative as a whole is becoming a little tedious because Carmi's system problem is still not being resolved. Furthermore, it's hard to believe Sydney and him are becoming more and more apart. The problem is that while Sydney's annoyance with Carmi has grown over the past several episodes, it hasn't been thoroughly explored. Shots of her glancing sideways at Carmi or staring with pursed lips and a wrinkled brow have been superficial. However, there ought to be more reasons for her to think about quitting the restaurant given that she was offered a partnership deal. Not only has she not shown us much of her inner monologue, but she has